Hello, my name is Trydar. Welcome to part 8 of the Temple of Time tutorial. Let's pick up right where we left off. So last time we had gotten to a critical level here where we were putting our first wooden beams for our roof rafters on our cathedral. So let's go on to the next phase, starting of course over here with the tower. We're almost to the point where the buttresses are going to connect to the building, but let's start right here and take a good look. We do have a couple of floating diorite blocks here because we have a couple of really small buttresses that are going to be stabilizing the octagonal lantern we have. We also have some upside down stairs here and another place or two where we want to hide the filler blocks. So once you do one of those, the other ones are going to be exactly the same. Like so. Of course, for the third and fourth one here. Which blocks do we want to change? Let's change out both of those. And that'll cover the filler area. Let's take a look at that from the top down. And just a couple of blocks here for the buttress. Alright. We're still going to continue as we go up for the rest of the tutorial. We're going to be starting roughly on the center line here, going vertical for as high up as that's going to go. We're not going to get to the end of the building today, but I think we may be able to get somewhere near the top of the roof line, though. But here in the middle, of course, we have just a bit of cut copper. I think we're going to have another block there. Sort of give a hint of a Triforce emblem. And of course the gold ore, the copper, the dark prismarine, and everything else behind that. You can see here we've got a couple of glass panes in our calcite window frames. Like so. Of course, we're going to take a look at the outside first, and then we're going to double back and take a look at everything from the interior. Even though that may not be necessary, I'm still going to do it. Of course, so we have our roof on its third block with a different spacing of the cut copper and the dark prismarine. And once you do one of those, all the others are pretty much the same. Till we get round about here, I think, where it changes. In fact, let's set a little bookmark there, because we have to turn and take a look now at this section. So this is going to be the same deal that we started with. Over there, this section for the top of this tower, as it goes up like that, we're building another copy of that all the way back here. It's going to be the same, except for at some parts here where it contacts the roof and the octagonal section. So you can see over here, these sections are just the same. We're going to have to replace a couple of filler blocks there. The upside down stairs are all in the same place. The interior is the same. This one has the floor in it, though. And it is accessible from our little stairwell we made. And then back over here, we're building the same sort of detail we did over there, except we're kind of squishing it into this little section here. And some upside down cobble stairs here. You can see how the roof is bending out a little bit. Had to do that in order to accommodate the dimensions for the dome that we did underneath there. And back out here, of course, we have to bend that on a 45-degree diagonal. Upside down cobblestone stairs there again. Here as well, and then here at the back. So this is along our center line, so we will take it from the back going all the way to the front again. Let's take a look at the outer section here. We've got the complicated sections of all of the oak beams that we're going to have to be installing back here underneath the roof. This was something when I was doing the Roman Cathedral tutorial. When I got up to the dome, I left that out because it was going to be a lot of detail for not much reward. But because you can actually crawl up here, I thought it'd be more fun if we did actually include something more faithful up here as well. So you can get an idea of just quite how much wood there is for the roof rafters and everything in these types of buildings. Of course, that's why Notre Dame went up in flames, sadly, because of all this wood up here. Of course, you can't turn fire tick off in reality. It'd be nice if you could. But if you are doing this on a server, I would advise turning fire tick off anyway. Just because you never know when a stray bolt of lightning might hit your cathedral, and then who knows what might happen. Alright, so for this section along this little walkway here, you can see it's pretty much the same. Once you do one of these little sections here, you're doing all the others the same. You can see all the void space that we left down there as well. Because remember, the vaults underneath there are just designed to hold themselves up. And it's all these wood rafters up here that's carrying the load and everything and diverting it down onto the walls. Alright, so interior detail for our main tower. Right along there, and you'll observe we have just a couple of stairs, right here, 3 stairs. Because if you remember from the tour, this is going to be our access point to crawl up to one last little chapel that I put up here. All right, I think that's all there is for that phase. So let's continue on to the next one. Start here at our little octagonal lantern. It's a pretty simple design. I'll show you it from the top down first. And remember, it's symmetrical. So once you do 1/4 of this, the other 3/4 are going to be the same. You can see here we have just a couple of blocks of diorite as very small buttresses to help hold those up. And it looks like there's another place where we have to one of those blocks that's peeking out. Otherwise, it's full stone bricks on top of the upside down ones for all of those. And then the final detail here for the flying buttress. You can see now our buttress, well, there's still a bit more to build on it. But it's now connecting our building, so you can see we have these 2 buttresses here sort of stacked on top of each other. And of course, that's because this tower here, you remember from the tour part, is very tall. So we have to, since we have these convenient towers right here, I decided just to stick a few extra buttresses on here to help with the load and everything. All right, so back up here at the front. Simple detailing. Window frames being extended up. Just like so. And then here we have detailing for our roof. Now you remember there are some kind of some dormer windows put into this roof for a little ventilation, but also so you can peek out. So these are the lowermost portions of those window frames with the upside down stairs. And once you do one section of that, of course, the other sections are going to be exactly the same, sliding all the way down the building until we get, of course, to our tower back here. And of course, the lantern and the side details for this are exactly the same as the one we have at the front. So here is the interface for that with the larger roof section at the back here. And then the octagonal roof. And the center line here at the back. So let's go on the inside and take a look around now. We can see we've got some oak beams laid out horizontally. Right there, and everything back here is being extended up pretty much. All except for those 4 blocks here. All the rest of them are just going straight up. Like so, and then around the back here. And you can see they're just being extended straight up here. The only verticals on this that are bearing load, you remember from below, this section here, this is the top of the Gothic arch. So all the load for this is sitting right on top of those. So the load for that is going down onto the arch, down over this way, and then being caught down there by the buttress, then being extended out this way, and being transferred down to the ground. Some cathedrals, depending on how they're laid out, they can have a second tier of buttresses that will extend up higher and would key in around this level here. I didn't think that was particularly necessary for this cathedral here, though, but that was sometimes done. All right, so pretty simple pattern, just down the walkway here, just extend everything up. And then we get to our wall here, which is just on top of the arch, so it can be extended straight up. Right here, and then on the interior, you've just got the tree trunks going vertical. And another flight of stairs right here in wood. And that's all there is for that phase. So let's take a look at the next level up. Starting back over here, a bit of glass. Right there in the middle with the calcite and the diorite. And then you may as well just replace all of these blocks with cobble. For the, well, no, not with cobble. Stone bricks, I think. To match the stairs. All right, a little bit of detail here for the buttresses. And let's go back to the front here. And throw the extra torch away and take a look at what we've got. So pretty much for the tower, the wall is just going to go straight up for quite a while. Probably this entire tutorial today, I think. Couple of blocks of dough right there, though. We just had space for a couple of small windows, so I just added some. And then a diorite outline here for the dormer windows. These are just roof windows, so I didn't use any calcite on those. I don't think I used glass either. Alright, so once you do one of those, all the others are the same, so we can kind of slide down to this point here, where it's just a little bit different, because we have the interface of these sections back here. And then, of course, all of this is just a copy over here of what we did back over there. Except in these two sections where it gets close to the roof. In a couple of more phases, it'll totally separate from the roof, and we won't have to worry about that anymore. Now let's take a good look at it, because it is kind of a tricky section. We do have some upside down cobbled stairs here, though. Be aware. And the detailing for the octagonal roof. More upside down cobbled stairs. Right here. Now, as we go, you'll notice some sections, you would think that if we were doing this on a 45-degree angle, we could just have every block be 2 blocks tall and then just set them back 1 block at a time. But when you do that, that doesn't work. At some sections, we need to go 2 up and then 1 and then back to 2. It'll make more sense once we fill in more of this pattern here, but it's one of those things that I had to figure out when I was first doing octagonal roofs and things. Because they can be quite tricky with that, because I would build them, it wouldn't line up with the other rest of the roof, so I had to build them quite a few times before I figured that out. Alright, so here we are at the center line, so let's take a look inside now. Along the interior section of the roof, just a couple of oak blocks, some planks. Right there, and all the tree trunks in the middle here are being just extended straight up. Alright, back over here, same deal. More planks and tree trunks. And then just a simple repeating pattern till we get to our wall here. And then here we've got some simple oak frames around the windows for the inside. And then a couple more stair blocks. Alright, next phase, moving on over here to the towers. We got a pane here in the middle. And all the usual blocks beside that. Let's just take a look at those first. And once you do 1/4 of those, the other 3/4 are just rotated examples of that. And then out here for some decorative finials, we have just a couple of dark prismarine blocks and a little cross pattern. Top of those, let me just give you the top-down view. And we will move on here to the main body of the cathedral. So just gold ore straight across there, filler blocks behind that. and stone bricks, couple of cut copper blocks there. Just like so. A little bit more to our buttress. We're almost done doing that. It's not going to be our last buttresses, but it's going to be the last of the large ones. We are really high up now. Safety warning. Remember, repair your elytra if you haven't in a while. If you fall from here without that, you're going to be a goner. So, a bit of duh right here for our dormers. And we just have simple oak fences there for the window. Upside down cobblestone stairs here for that detailing. And then just repeat that as we slide down the cathedral. You can see behind this, we'll take a look at it later, but we do have oak tree trunks just on their sides as beams just going all the way across. Alright, so here we are at the back. I think this pattern has now fully separated enough from here that all the details, you already built all the rest of it, so, you know, this here, this and this are just copy and paste of each other. So I will leave you to integrate those now that we should have enough separation between that and the roof line. So I think we're only going to take a look at now, for the rest of the sequence here, we're only going to take a look at this one at the front, and then save ourselves some time by skipping that one. Because it's just the same from now on. You're not going to have any more problems with that. So, back here, detailing for the octagonal roof. Pretty simple detailing. You can see behind here, though, we do have some oak beams. Here, our center line, we do have some oak beams in kind of a octagonal framework pattern. So let me just, I think if I just show you this from the top down to start with. And now so let's lower down and take a look at it. Let's take a look at the outside first. And then the interior here. It just meets at this one block right here. Alright, back here, you already know to do the oak tree trunks just laying across their sides. It's pretty easy of a detail to do. I'll just show you behind the roof line here. Of course, you can see we have all the oak beams and planks and everything. Serving as the framework for the roof tiles to sit on. In our case, dark prismarine and copper. In typical cathedrals, though, this would be lead. Alright, detail for the interior of the tower now. Pretty simple detailing, actually. Like so, and of course another flight for our stairs, then extending the oak tree trunks up. Alright, next phase here. As we go, I think for this one I'm only going to look at a quarter of it as we go, because the detailing, there's not that many blocks left on it. And like I said, if you split this into 4 quadrants, once you do one quadrant, you can see the other 3 are just exactly the same. Alright, let's move on here. Starting along our center line. Now you can see we have a floor / ceiling coming into view behind here. I don't remember if those are, I think those are half slabs. We'll take a look at that in a moment. You might want to skip placing that for the moment. You can go ahead and place the tree trunks, though, in there if you want to. Almost done with our flying buttresses. A bit more detail here for the dormer windows on the roof. And of course the roof is just a repeating pattern. Copy and paste. Well, it was copy and paste for me. For you it will take slightly longer. So here it of course bends out just a little bit. Upside down cobblestone stairs on the projections now. Like so. And there. All right, here we are along our center line. So let's take a look at everything now from the interior. It's mostly a lot of oak planks and oak tree trunks being extended up. Right there. And then along the middle here, of course, we have the next set of beams for the rafters. So you want to place those in these positions here. And then just repeat the pattern until we get down here to the wall. Whereupon we have this pattern of oak beams to place. So let's take a look at that from the top down. And now let's take a look in here from the bottom up. So these are oak half slabs that we saw from above down here to give a slight coffering effect. And oh dear. We have a number of blocks to fix in here. We have filler blocks poking out that shouldn't be. I'll just replace all these with cobble. And I think that's all, so right underneath here. And then up the stairs. And we'll take a look at that from the top down with the corrected block placements. And that's all there is for that phase. Moving on, next one. Over here, detailing for the tower. The little side towers. Like so, and we're capping those off now, as you can see. And the little 4 decorative finials on here are still rising up for a couple of blocks. So do all 4 quadrants of that the same, and we'll go on here to right here with, oh, I already see a place. We'll just fix that. Right there. Take a look at the exterior first, though. I'll give you a look at that floor from the top down in a moment. But you can see it's a decorated floor, which means if you remember from our tour, that's where our upper chapel was. This is the last highly finished and polished space that we're going to be building on the cathedral. There was so much unused space up here for one, I just decided to kind of slot it in. In most cathedrals of this type, I don't think that it would just be more attic space probably, because nobody wants to climb up, however tall this is, to get all the way to that. But you know, I want to go the extra mile. So we got some upside down stone brick stairs there. Here's the detailing for the roof pattern. We'll take a look at the flooring last of all back there. And mind the upside down stairs here again too. Right there, you can see that this is a repeating pattern. For every couple of blocks we go up, we've got the stairs here, right side up and then upside down, right side up and upside down, just like that. That's going to be a repeating pattern as we go all the way up, pretty much. So let's slide down the roof, continue to do the repeating pattern. And then here we bend out for the octagonal section. And the pattern back here slightly changes. Alright, so let's take a look at that from the inside now. You can see we've got another ring of oak beams again. We've done a number of these. You can see we're kind of doing it every other block, pretty much. And then the tree trunks here are just being extended straight up. Alright, so the detailing back here for the rafters. I didn't go stair and half slab crazy with the rafters. I tried to keep them to fairly simple full blocks. Because while we could tease out more detail with that, being that it is an attic space, it's not really warranted to do that. Alright, back here, one tree trunk. Right there, and then just straight wall across. Alright, and extend up your stair to its final level right here. And then that'll give you the position to put a little rectangle of deep slate tiles around that. And then start your checkerboard pattern with the deep slate tiles and the calcite. Just like you see done here. Alright, pretty simple flooring design, so we can be thankful for that. Next phase, more detailing here for the lantern towers. And in these I did, even though you can't crawl into it, I did put a bit of wooden superstructure in those. Like so. And then, one block of dark prismarine on top of all of the little decorative finials. And I think there's probably a couple more blocks on top of that later. So here at the middle along our center line, block of gold ore right there. You can see that this is triangular section is going to be coming to its conclusion. In a couple of phases. I think we'll definitely get to that today. And then calcite behind that. Now you can see it's exposed calcite, so you know what that means. Windows. Alright, the detailing for the tower there, and then along here for the dormer windows, where we've got some upside down stairs again, and a cobblestone wall. Right there. If you want to upgrade that with perhaps an andesite wall, that might look nice. It'd be a nicer texture than the cobblestone. But it's so high up, it's that's a real nitpicky thing. Alright, so simple repeating pattern for that, just going all the way down. Till, of course, we get to the octagonal section here. Where it goes out a little bit. We've got the upside down cobblestone stairs here again. You can see that repeating pattern we have going here. But of course it does have to bend over a little bit too. It can't just go straight back up. It's got to go up and over. And we can see it beginning to do that right here. Alright, let's take a look on the inside now. There's some oak planks on the exterior. and then extend up all of the oak tree trunks in the middle. Same simple detailing for these middle sections here. And then here the detailing for the back wall. Or I guess it's just the front wall, depending on where you want to look at it from. All right, and then on the interior here, just straight deep slate tile across that. And then a bit of calcite at various intervals on the interior. And then a bit of calcite railing here around the stairs. Safety first. And then you remember from the tour, of course, we have a little ladder back over here, because that's going to be how we get up into the upper attics of as high up as in the cathedral that you can climb. Try to give you access to as much of it as possible. All right, next phase. It's mostly copper and stone bricks and everything on this phase here. It's pretty easy. And then just some simple decorations on top of all of the 4 pinnacles there. Back over here, some more gold ore. And of course we have our old friend, the light blue stained glass, making its reappearance with the alternating blocks and panes. And out here, for goodness sake, replace those with, I think, stone bricks. And then just cobblestone walls for those. And then you can see the pattern for the roof behind that. And then, of course, you can see we have the oak beams now just going straight across. Of course, we got the upside down cobblestone stairs here again. And then for all of these, we just want to replace those with stone bricks. I'm really not sure how those filler blocks got on the exterior there, but they did. Let's see, where are we? Okay. So back here at the bend out for the octagonal roof. Pretty simple sequence on this now. And here at the center line, so let's take a look from the interior. You can see we're doing another one of these 8-pointed wooden beam things again. These sit directly on top of the previous ones we laid out. Like you can see here, we can just extend that straight up and it'll touch each other. So if you just want to use the pattern that we did with that previously and extend it straight up according to that pattern here. And of course behind that we have the oak tree trunks, just horizontal, 2 of them straight across for all of the rafter sections. And then everything else behind the roof is pretty simple. You can see that too is a repeating, oops. That too is a repeating pattern now. We built enough of that for you to see where it's going. All right, straight beam across there. And then, of course, in our room here, we've got the calcite and the deep slate tiles again, like so. And then remember to put your little letter there. And that's going to be all there is for that phase. Let's go on to another one. Where I already see another problem. I think cobblestone for those. Let me just quickly fix fix all of those before I show it to you. Well, I guess technically after I show it to you. Alright, so we've got two kinds of copper now. And you know when the phase 1 waxed cut copper appears, we are of course doing some more of these little decorative finials on top of the triangles. And a couple of oak beams behind that. And some more cut copper on top of all 4 of those. Alright, let's go on to main tower here, where of course you can see this pointy triangle is reaching its apex. It's going to have another couple of blocks on top of it, though. And so detail for the windows, you know, just reverse the full blocks and the panes, just like we've been doing. And then here, I believe to finish off the dormer detail, we just want to have 1 cobblestone wall here and 2 stone brick stairs on top of that. And then the detailing behind that for the roof tiles. Just repeating pattern on that all the way till we get down to this section here. More upside down cobblestone stairs. Like so. And now we are... let's take a look at the inside section of that. And then back here we have the tree trunks extending up again. In the middle here, the ones we had extending up, they're going to be extending up quite a ways. Again. And I almost think that we have a couple missing. It looks like we do. There should be tree trunks here and there, shouldn't there? Wonder why they're not there. Well, they should be there, so go ahead and place them. Lots of oak plank detailing now at this level of the roof. But again, it's the repeating pattern, so once you do one of those, extend it all the way till we get back here to the wall. Let's take a look at the interior of the room. Bit of calcite there. And then back here, some detailing for this little shaft to conceal our ladder, to give us higher access. And the building. Go on to next phase here, starting with the waxed cut copper. And then a lot of copper behind that. And then a couple more blocks here on all 4 of those. And then back here on top of this, some more cut copper. And then, of course, the same detailing for the windows. All right, so the troublesome dormer windows are now finished, all of them. just like so. We're now only focusing on building the roof and, of course, the rafters behind that. I think we're close enough to the top of this now that I think just a glance over is probably good enough. All right, back here where it bends out. And then on the interior here, the tree trunks going vertical. With, let's extend up the missing tree trunk. Right there. It's going to on both sides. And we already took a look at all of that. So let's go back here to the front, take a look on the inside of this chapel here. And that's all there is to see there on that one. So let's go on to this next phase here, where I believe with these blocks there, we are finishing off these decorative finials on the sides of the pinnacles of the tops of the towers. And some more cut copper right there, and the unwaxed cut copper behind that, with a bit of oak. All right, moving back to the tower. We've got, got a cobble there, probably. And then you can see the windows are just going straight up. They're going to be doing that for a while, I think. Probably for the rest of this tutorial video, anyway. Where, of course, they will get finished with even more of our old friend, the window tracery. That's right. You thought we were done with the window tracery, but no. There's even more of that to come. All right, so you can see here we have the simple design for these roof tiles, and we have the design behind it for the oak rafters and everything. Repeating pattern all the way down till we get to this point here. And then on the interior here, the design replacing the missing tree trunks, like so. I think we built enough of this back here. You can see the repeating design elements in it. So hopefully that will assist you with building it more efficiently. Let's just take a glancing look at that from the inside. Back up here to our wall. And the detailing on this wall here is just a little calcite Triforce emblem. Right there. We do have a couple of overhanging blocks now because we have a little arch going to be forming between there. And the detailing back here for the ladder, which, I guess you can convert that to cobblestone blocks behind that, I think. All right, what? So, like I said, we are finished with this, so we're now only focusing on the steeple tower of the roofs now for these sections. Our first pointy roof sections. They're pretty simple because there's not that many blocks left in them to make. Moving on here, of course, you can see we've got a little bit more cut copper. I think we're going to have another cut copper block there to finish that off. Some upside down stairs, though, right there. We've got the upside down stair problem again. In fact, let me just go around and change those and then just show it to you from beneath here. Like so, and then more windows. More upside down stairs. And then same thing here. And whoop. One there. And then back here for the now simple roof detailing. Just like so, you can see behind here we've got the simple pattern with the roof beams now on their sides again. For some rafters. So repeat that element all the way down the main body of the cathedral roof. Till we get, of course, to this little section here. For the octagonal section at the back. And you can see behind this now we're placing a third layer of oak tree trunks, 8 of those on their sides. Just like so. These go directly on top of the previous ones that we placed, so you can use that as a guide. And right here, this just extends straight up through that as well. All right, so sliding back to our chapel up here. Of course, we complete our Triforce emblem here with the calcite. And I think that's the last Triforce we have in the temple. Back here, of course, we have just another block of calcite there because we're going to have a Gothic arch there made out of that as a decorative element. And then back here, the space for the ladder. All right, moving on. Back here again, we finished off our decorative finials there, so we are just focusing in on the copper and the tuff and the calcite and the wood there in the middle. That's all there is to build for that. All right, back here in the middle, this last little block of cut copper there to finish off that entire sequence. So we've been building that for quite a while. And then back there for the ladder shaft. All right, here for the roof, you can see same detailing we have, just a different level. And the simple design back here for the oak planks. And just a couple of tree trunks there on the central rafters. As we go, you'll probably want to put some torches or something in those, like back up here somewhere so you don't have things spawning up here. Because I wouldn't want a creeper to fall on your fall on your head down there and blow up your roof vaulted ceiling. That'd be really bad. So do remember to light things up as you go. Of course, if this were a real cathedral, the last thing we would want to be doing is putting torches, lit torches, all in our highly flammable oak timbered roof. No. But because, you know, this is Minecraft, we can get away with that. Because in reality, you wouldn't actually have creepers spawning in your cathedral rafters. Take note of the upside down stairs here. And a good thing too, as much fun as Minecraft is, I mean, there's some elements that you would never want in real life. Can you imagine if you had to actually contend with creepers and zombies and everything? That'd be really bad. But I digress. I'm just babbling. So you can see here we've got the pattern for the oak beams at the top here. Just like so. And you've already seen all of this, so we can just kind of glide back to the front. Straight run of deep slate tiles across there, another block cutting in there, and everything else is just going pretty much straight up for the time being. All right, next phase, let's take a look now at our very pointy roofs that we're building. We got a couple of projecting cobblestone walls now, just for decorative elements, really. Like that, and back here for the main tower. Probably cobble there. Oh yeah, and stone bricks here where we have the well, I broke it. Do I have a stair handy? Yeah. Fix that. There we go. Every place where we have the filler blocks peeking out, we don't want to have that done. All right, and then back here, more of the roofing. You can see we've got a little bit more detailing back here. With just a couple of oak blocks. And then the repeating pattern of the roof all the way till we get back here. Sitting here looking at it, I'm wondering why I don't have... This should look symmetrical, but I can tell that it's not. These couple of blocks here aren't quite right. Is that another little detail that I missed? How did I do it on the back here? Okay, it's right on the back. Well, this is a really nitpicky thing. I think it looks like this section was done right, and then these couple of blocks here, these 2 blocks here were missed whenever I was doing this. Yeah. That looks better. Sorry about that. You might want to go back and fix that. Nobody'll ever notice probably, but you know, it's one of those things. I do like to maintain roof symmetry whenever possible. Alright, so the simple detailing back here at the back for all the tree trunks and everything. Just like so. And then sliding back along the roof to the chapel, where we have just this little detail of calcite blocks there, and then everything else is just going straight up. All right, next little bit of detailing here for the pointy roof. Just like so, bit of cobblestone and/or tuff, and all of cut copper behind that. And then back over here, of course, we've got a bit of more dark prismarine coming in. So we are doing, of course, to cap off these windows here, we're doing the same detailing we did back down here that we did back down there. But we're doing it again higher up, and I think it's a little bit smaller as well. All right, detailing again for the roof, you can see we're just placing some planks and a couple of tree trunks behind that for those. Like so. And then all the way on down till we get to here. And then around here. All right, taking a look at that from the interior now. Just a bit of oak here and there, really. And then sliding back down the roof. Back to the chapel, another overhanging block of calcite there. And also now some overhanging calcite on the interior as well, because we're going to be making more Gothic arches up here out of those. And I think that's all there is to see there. Let's do another phase for today. A bit of stairs and a lot of cut copper behind that. And then moving on over here. We got a couple of blocks of alternating glass and calcite here. That's our old friend, the Tracery, making its return. I mean, it's not as bad as all that was. It's just small hints of Tracery. All right, back here for the roof. Very simple detailing. We've got the beams on their sides and the connecting oak planks in between those. Just like so. Once you do one of those bays, all the other ones are the same. Till we get down to here. Like so, and then you can see on top of here the pretty simple pattern we have for the oak beams. These are all just standing right on top of the ones we previously placed. If we look down through here, you can see that. thing done there. And then let's leave that, slide back to the chapel. Two blocks of overhanging calcite there. And then on the interior here, which you probably already saw that. Well, let's move on to another phase. I'm gonna keep going for maybe a couple more. So here the detailing for the pointy roofs for our side towers. Like so. Back over here, more cut copper and dark prismarine, diorite and calcite for the tracery. Okay, back here, detailing for the roof. Pretty simple detailing, actually. We're coming to the conclusion of the roof, so there's not a whole lot left to do on it. Like so, repeating pattern all the way down to here. And then I think we probably want to replace that block with cobble. So it'll match our pattern that we changed. Remember, we changed that to match this side. Which should have been done, but that's a problem with doing cathedrals like this. There's always going to be some little detail you just forget somewhere, even after you work for months and months on it. But I'm pretty sure I've caught all of them as we've gone through this tutorial series, so you will have a better building than I do when it's finished. Alright, so simple detailing there for the oak for that section, and we'll slide back down to the chapel. Whereupon we're just capping everything off with a bit of calcite across there. And then we have a couple of floating blocks here because this is the lowest most portions of what's going to be the next part of our rib vaulting. Yes, that's right. We've got some more rib vaulting to do up here. And then high up in the lantern again with some more windows and buttressing and tracery, but that's not gonna be today. All right, next phase here for the pointy roof, just like so. Pretty simple pattern, really. And moving over here to the main tower. A full block and some calcite beside it. And then very simple detailing up here for the tops of the roof. Just like so, repeat that pattern all the way for several times until we get back down to here. And I think we want to place that with cobble and stone brick. And then the oak beam detailing behind that. Sliding all the way back down to the chapel. We've got, you can see our old friend, the lapis blocks returning, so you know that Rib vaulting is officially starting. Let's take a look at that from the top first, and then we'll take a look from below. Yes, I know this block here is off-center, and there's only one of them. Yeah, I think I may have remarked that in the tour video, because the tower has to come to a central conclusion, but their arches below it are 2 blocks wide. This is the point in the tower where we had to cheat a little bit and squish things over by 1 block. All right, let's do another phase. Let's go over here, take a quick look at this detailing here for the pointy tower. And then back over here for the main tower. All right, here for the roof. Starting to come to a conclusion on the roof. We got another block to go on that though. Pretty simple pattern. And extend that all the way till we get back here. Like so. Let's take a look at that from the top down. A couple of oak tree trunks and a couple of oak planks, and that's all there is to it. All right, in here again, let's take a look at some of the tracery. We're not going to finish with this today, but we'll at least make a start on it. Overhanging block there. We'll take a look at it from below first. We'll take the above view and then the below view. Because tracery can be complicated, but rib vaulting is even worse. So we want to make sure that we cover all the angles from this that we can. But if you made it through the octagonal vaulted sections the first time, I don't think you'll have any trouble with this. Because you now have experience. All right, next phase here. Got some waxed cut copper appearing again, so you know we're heading towards a climax on things. Pretty simple pattern there. All right, back over here for the main tower, we've got some upside down stone brick stairs here. Again. Which means we probably have somewhere along here. Let's just change all that out. And then take a look at it from below. It's like that there. And then from above. Let's change all that. All right, so we are sealing off our roof now. Just like so. And you can see we've got just a straight run of oak beam all the way down. And I haven't been talking about it for a while, but you can see here, I pointed it out, we got this repeating pattern where the ridge lines going up all the way. Like so, and just extend that all the way. till we get back down here. And then place all of those blocks like that. Alright, so let's slide back down. Take a look at the next level of vaulting. Again from below. And that's all there is for that one. Let's do another one. So over here, really simple pattern for this. There's not a whole lot to left of, well, I mean, there's a lot of vertical space coming, but as far as blocks, it's getting less and less. Like so, and oh, wait. We got exposed filler blocks again. There we go. Yeah, that's what we want to build. So back over here, starting at the center. Bit of gold ore reappearing. Haven't had that in a while. And then here we are putting on a decorative ridge line on top of our roof. And because it's a Gothic cathedral, it's you know, we've got several phases of decorative ridge line to build. But you can see here we've got just the upside down stairs. And behind that, just a ridge line of varied amounts of tuff and cobblestone. Just like so, you know, if it's Gothic, it has to be over-decorated. Which means a lot of stairs and half slabs. And walls and sometimes buttons. I spared you the buttons on this, but some people will go that far too. I don't like to use too many buttons because it's a nightmare. And sometimes buttons can be over-texturing. I like to keep those as like accents on things. Like when I have specific reasons for them and not just adding buttons for buttons' sake. All right, you can see we're capping off this section of that with just some oak planks just right on top of there. All right, so sliding back down the ridge line, let's take a look now at the rib vaulting and the chapel. And from below. And let's do another phase, I think, today. We've done quite a few. So here we are with more exposed filler. And probably all stone bricks, I think, for that. There we go. So we fixed the exposed filler yet again. For the detailing on those. There it is from top down. And let's go on here again. So we can see we've got along our center line, right side upstairs, bits of gold ore, and even more exposed filler. Let's just change all that. All right, detailing back here for the ridge line on top of the roof. Stone brick stairs. It's pretty much all stone bricks except for some cobblestone upside downs here. Then the same repeating pattern all the way till we get back here, where it's also pretty much all stone bricks. And some filler. All right, so let's go back here where you can see we've got a nice circle now. I'll just show you all that from the top down first, I think. That should be really easy to count out, but we'll take a look at it from below also. Because I did, for this vaulting here, I did one of these little tricks where I made it, I made the rib vaulting form into this circle here. And then on top of that, I put the next section for the upper part of the lantern. It could have theoretically been divided off into another floor or something, but I thought it looked more impressive to have it this way. And then we're going to have a bunch of windows up there. Just kind of like a really small version of what we had down there, down back there in the master sword chamber. All right, and I think that this is actually going to be a good place to stop for today. So I would like to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.